There's about to be 30 big castle towns in Assassin's Creed Shadows that you can go to, and also the map size is gonna be similar to that of Assassin's Creed Origins. Game director of Assassin's Creed Shadows, Charles Benoit, revealed some more interesting details of Assassin's Creed Shadows that you might not know. You can watch this video till the end to know all these details. But before that, I would highly appreciate a like on this video and feel free to subscribe to this channel if you want more Assassin's Creed related content. Now, as you guys know that we have dual protagonists in Assassin's Creed Shadows, those are Yasuke and Naoe. This is not the first time though. Before in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, we saw the same thing as well. But in that game, there was not enough differentiation between the two characters, but this time you can see differentiation on the basis of parkour, the way the characters look at you, and also the overall gameplay. Players can choose which character to play and switch between them at will, except for specific quest-driven choices seen in the demo. Now, the demo mission that you saw in the gameplay trailer of Assassin's Creed Shadows, they chose Naoe to play with. They could have chose Yasuke and it would have been completely different. Now, it's still not 100% clear to me, but I'm assuming that while you are doing the quest, you can't change your characters. While you are roaming around freely, you can probably do that at that point. Maybe there are certain quests where you can switch between the characters while doing the missions, but I can't say for sure. I think that there's gonna be some missions where we can switch, but there's gonna be other missions where we can't, and those are just dependent on a single character. And also, you have to hit the pause button in order to switch your character in this game, just like it was there in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, because this game is coming from the same team that created Assassin's Creed Syndicate, so you know you are gonna see a lot of different similarities. For example, the grappling hook. So it is still not exactly like the switching you can do in Grand Theft Auto 5. It's not that flawless. You still have to go to the pause menu and then you can do that. Maybe if it was like similar to what we saw in Grand Theft Auto 5, I feel like that would have been better, but still it's not that big of a deal, to be honest, to me personally. Now, it also completely depends on which character you prefer more. Most of the quests you can play with your preferable character, but some quests are tailored for a certain character. So for example, you want to play as Naoe all the time, well, you can do that. But there are going to be certain missions where Yasuke will do the job better, but still you can do those missions with Naoe. It's just gonna be a little tricky in that situation. Though there are initial sections and certain story beats where players must play as a specific character to understand the history and storylines. Like obviously, we are gonna get an introduction of both of the characters, so we have to play with both of them in that. For example, there's gonna be an introduction of how Yasuke reaches Japan maybe and serves under Oda Nobunaga, how he gets under him and how his introduction is to Oda Nobunaga, and then maybe we're gonna be shown the introduction to Naoe and her background, about her father and her relationship with him. So these things are gonna be with them and you have to play with them in those missions, right? There's no other way around. Now, the game director also talks about why they chose Yasuke specifically in this game. Overall, if you learn about Yasuke, you're gonna know that his character is pretty mysterious. There is some information regarding him, but still some things that we don't know about. We do know that Yasuke served under Oda Nobunaga, and Oda Nobunaga was a pretty big part of the unification of Japan. So they connected all the dots with this. Now obviously keep in mind that a lot of these things are not gonna be accurate. They took Yasuke as an interesting character and based on that, they extended his story and his part in the unification of Japan as well as his relations with Naoe. Basically, they molded his journey to fit the story of the game and the overall narrative. He further goes on to talk about the RPG elements in the game. The game is built upon the RPG elements of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Domination is a key aspect in this game, alongside character values and itemization. There is also an emphasis on collecting and utilizing perks which significantly affect gameplay. Success in combat depends on mastering timing and understanding the enemies, highlighting player skill over mere character stats. So you actually just can't upgrade everything, upgrade your gears and then fight enemies like it's nothing. You still need to put in some effort in this. The main story will span over central Japan, including notable cities like Kyoto and Osaka. And I mentioned this in my previous video that Kyoto is gonna be the central place on the map, and there's gonna be places on both sides of it, on the west and on the east. You can actually guess the approximation of the map by seeing the actual Google map. There's also gonna be various activities tailored to Naoe and Yasuke to help develop their skills. For example, maybe there's some activity that helps Naoe to learn stealth better, some aspect of a stealth. For example, how she can, extinguish lights and then use it in a favor. So I feel like it is gonna be something like that, learning new techniques. And now comes the thing that I mentioned earlier in this video. The game features 30 large castle towns, 40 temples and shrines, hunting and looting, and other activities to vary the pace of the gameplay. And that's a lot. Specifically 30 large castle towns is so exciting considering how empty the map of Valhalla felt. But this time it feels like there is gonna be a map with more substance in it. Speaking of that, we also get to know about the map size. The map size is comparable to Assassin's Creed Origins map rather than the larger maps of Odyssey and Valhalla. They put an emphasis on ensuring the map feels like Japan, with large mountains and epic castle towns. The size ratio has been adjusted to make the environment feel bigger and more intense, enhancing the sense of scale and immersion. Before, if you saw the games, for example, take Valhalla. Alright, in that game, the mountains and everything felt like kind of not that realistic, they were just on little height, and it just did not give an illusion that we are inside an actual environment that gives you the sense of the huge scale of the mountains, right? But in this game, we are gonna actually feel that. And also, seeing how bloated the map was in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I would actually appreciate this decision a lot, that they are going with the much smaller size maps instead of creating these big sort of maps that have no substance in it, so I'm really down for it. Now, if you guys know, to reveal nearby areas, we had to do synchronizations in previous games, but this time you have to actually explore the map to reveal more about it. If you guys saw the gameplay trailer, you can see that there is a section where they show the map, and in that you don't see unnecessary pop-ups, places of interest, and signs in it. And this is the exact reason why, because you have to actually explore to know different things in the game, different activities maybe, and stuff like that. Then comes a pretty interesting thing as well, that is the spy system, and we have not seen that before. Something was quite similar in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, that we can actually recruit assassins, but this time it's not exactly like we are recruiting assassins, we are recruiting spies. And these are introduced in the game to aid the exploration. And this is connected to my previous point about the exploration. Players can peek or send people to scout locations, making exploration more dynamic and player driven rather than relying on an automatic system. These spies can help you gain more information and thus helps in the exploration. And remember, we are not gonna have the recon bird in this game, as it was there in the recent Assassin's Creed games. We had it in Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, and Mirage, but this time you're not gonna see that. So the spy system kind of acts like a substitute to that. This can also help you save a lot of time if you are stuck searching a specific place and you don't have any clue. So you can use these spies at that instance. If you want to make the exploration even more easier, you have the option of using the guided mode as well in this game, as it was there also in the recent Assassin's Creed games. This mode will just bypass the exploration part completely. There's also gonna be eagle vision in this game as usual, but the difference this time is that only Naue can use that, because obviously she is the stealth focused character, so that suits on her. Eagle vision with Yasuke would be weird because he is a samurai and he is not expert in doing stealth stuff. It's just not his thing. There is an observation mode though that can be used both by Naue and Yasuke, which centralizes the camera and helps in tracking goals, chests, and interesting objects, but does not reveal enemies through the wall. So the main difference between eagle vision and the observation mode is revealing enemies. Now further, we get to know more about the combat. The combat system focuses on advanced tactics and mastery, similar to previous Assassin's Creed games rather than Souls-like games. Combos require more than just spamming attack keys. If you guys have played Mortal Kombat games, then I feel like you can relate to this, that you actually don't have to spam keys, but you have to learn different combinations and use the keys in a proper sequence, then only you can perform the combos. So in this game, they're trying to tell that only. Players must hold attacks for more damage and time the actions effectively, so timing is also a very big thing in this game. It has kind of Ghost of Tsushima's combat vibes to it as well, in certain instances. Enemies also react better with blocking, parrying, and countering seen in the demo, making combat feel like a dance that requires skill and timing. The Japanese setting allows for various archetypes, like the less strategic Ashigaru, and those are peasant fighters. And then we have the more skilled samurai. Combat against samurai feels more like a one-on-one duel, emphasizing skill and strategy, whereas defeating Ashigaru is pretty easier because they are not that skilled, right? They are peasant fighters. Now the next thing that the interviewer asks is pretty very interesting. Is there a brightness indicator to show how hidden Naue is in the shadows while using stealth? And a lot of people might not take that into consideration, but while you're making the game, you need to keep all these things in the mind. The game director then says that there is a small bar below the compass that indicates visibility. Visibility changes based on actions, lying on stomach, that is obviously proning, crouching, sprinting, and stuff like that. When completely hidden in the shade, an outline appears, making Naue unseen. So the line that you see, that comes when she is hidden. But to be honest, I don't like that personally, because the line kind of looks, immersion breaking in my opinion, but there's a reason why they did it, so this is the reason. Now this outline will appear, making Naue unseen from a distance unless someone is right next to her. There is like a gradient from dark to light, and that will help you in knowing more about what's happening. Have you ever seen anything similar to this? This is like next level stuff, obviously this is like insane, and I have to agree that this is like a very innovative thing. Lastly, the game director gets asked if it will be compared to Ghost of Tsushima, and a lot of people are doing that. And the game director says that, sure, the setting is kind of similar, but still there's differences like dual protagonists, dynamic seasons, and significant RPG elements. He believes that these features make the game feel different and present feudal Japan in a unique light, distinguishing it from Ghost of Tsushima. And that's about all the details we get from the game director himself, Charles Benoit. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got some information regarding this game. What do you guys think is the most exciting part to you in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and whatever we have seen about it till now? Comment down below and feel free to tell that. Make sure to like this video and consider subscribing to this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.